What's a subject you wish your professors had spent more time focusing on when they were teaching you in med school? Okay. Hotly contested subject. The one thing I would add, a monthly improv class where you have to live in the moment without preparation, just be there, be a person, speak your feelings. Just yell at each other. Does drinking the recommended amount of water per day throughout the day have the same impact on your body as if you just chugged it all in 1 or 2 sittings? It's not the same. Your body can only absorb so much water, and if it doesn't absorb it, it then goes to waste and you create urine. Which is more important, inhaling or exhaling? Okay, this is important. Inhaling or exhaling? Honestly, as important it is to inhale, I think the exhale is the underrated because you can really get a lot from an exhale. I don't want to go too spiritual with it, but it cleanses the soul. And essentially when you're inhaling, you're getting oxygen. Yeah, okay, good stuff. But when you're exhaling, carbon dioxide, CO2, COOL, cool. Wait, does Dr. Mike have a Discord? There are Discord icons on some of these questions. Yeah, I have a Discord, baby. Join the Patreon. You get automatic invite to the Discord. And the Patreon is $10 a month. I keep none of the money. Each month, you vote where that money goes to the charity of your choice. We have a monthly live stream. We always have fun. You get early access to tickets, to merch. By the way, merch down below. Have you kept up your diet after your last boxing match? Furthest from it. In fact, someone from the Discord sent me a chocolate bar. I ate the whole chocolate bar just now. I'm not proud of it, but I'm human and I make mistakes. And this was today's mistake. Why does cutting my hand with scissors hurt less than a paper cut? Oh, that's such a good question. First of all, I don't think that's true. Just saying as a doctor. I think just the paper cut is less expected. Like if scissors are cutting you, you expect large amounts of pain, so you kind of prepare for it. But just like getting a hit unexpectedly, like getting sucker punch or something hurts much worse, a paper cut, you're like, oh, this is a paper, no big deal. Oh, it cut me. That, oh, it cut me moment could be an issue. Our pain perception is not solely decided by the injury, but also our perception of the injury. We basically have like a volume remote of our pain signals. But if we can learn to dial down the volume on the pain, we can get a better control of it without taking medications. I love the smell of scented candles. Please tell me, is there any health benefit to them or do they just smell good? Well, they just smell good, but when you look good and you smell good, you might feel good. And there's health benefits to feeling good. I don't know why I just went Matthew McConaughey on that. What would happen if you got dust in your bloodstream? It should be dusty. I don't know, your macrophages would probably eat it. I don't know, you ask a pathology channel. Is seltzer water unhealthier than flat water? Oh man, the reality about sparkling water is the only population of people that I say should be careful with sparkling water are people who have acid reflux. Because if you already have some acid leaking outside the gut into the esophagus, having bubbles in there, you could actually expand the stomach more and cause more of that leaky gut, especially with burping and stuff. Then everything else, it's kind of not so bad. It might be slightly more acidic than tap water, especially if it has some like flavorings in it. But dentists say like if you drink it with a meal or if you drink some water right after it, like plain water, you're fine. If you're replacing soda, like sugary soda with seltzer, dang right, it's good for you. Is Dr. Mike expecting a child because these dad jokes are getting out of hand? I'm having a baby. I don't have a good dad joke for that. But I am expecting you to laugh at these dad jokes. I saved that one. Are there any benefits to having one blood type over another outside of the ability to donate? We have seen some patterns about certain illnesses happening less and more often in certain blood types, but nothing that we found that we can really act upon. First of all, what useful information is that for you? You're not gonna change your blood type. Maybe you can change your certain activities around certain things because you know you're more susceptible, but are you? You know being on your phone isn't that healthy. I see you doing a little risk reduction though, watching a doctor and stuff answer medical questions so you're growing up here, but I see you. How many times a year do you encounter a live animal in the hospital? Live animal? You mean like besides the supporting paws program with like dogs? I mean like flies. Are they animals? Is a fly an animal? Sam.
Fly would be an insect.
But is that an animal?
And I believe insects are animals.
Are they?
Let's see. Insects are the most diverse group of animals.
Uh-huh. We caught you, insects.
Is every insect an animal? Despite their age?
How do you clean Bear's ears? I actually have a full grooming video where I groom Bear for like 5 hours. I use like these ear wipes, these medicated ear wipes. I think it does a great job. There's also things that you could put in the ear, kind of squish the ear around, and then let Bear shake his ear out to get the liquid out. Oh wow, you pronounced pilmeni correctly. You really are Russian. Yeah, I love pilmeni is my favorite food. Suksusum? Ooh, pilmeni is suksusum. Oh, oh. My mother told me to never stretch in the morning or I will stunt my growth. Is she telling the truth? Say what? Stretch. It's good. I'm not a huge fan of stretching cold. I like stretching after a little bit of a dynamic warm-up. See, you might have a medical condition and your mom begs, see, this doctor doesn't know what he's talking about because you have this medical condition. Say what? For the general person, you stretch in the morning, props. What kind of music does Dr. Mike listen to? What did your Spotify rap say? I will give you 3 of my songs on my Spotify Wrapped 2022. Song number 1, Mount Everest, which was my walkout song to my boxing journey with iDubbbz. Number 2, City of Gods, mostly because of Alicia Keys singing up New York. And then last but not least, a little Sticky with Drake. If you know, you know. Is it unhealthy for me to never take my bra off? I wear it 24/7 because I'm uncomfortable when I have it on. 24/7, I would say, is probably unnecessary. If something's bothering you, pain-wise, definitely a reason to see your doctor, even if you're younger, because it's easy enough to get an ultrasound and make sure that it's nothing serious. Remember, I would much rather you come in with a concern. We not only rule it out anything dangerous, therefore we give you some reassurance, but then we also can make sure that we have a good line of communication. We can give you some risks, things that you're doing that may be unhealthy, that could cause problems down the line, and act early. There's very few things we can act early upon, but if we use the tools that we have, we can really extend not only the length of our lives, but the quality of our lives. Why aren't over-the-counter medication dosages based on weight? They're only based on whether you're a kid or an adult. Well, it matters more when you're a kid, weight-based dosages. As an adult, you have a healthy liver and kidney so that you have normal functioning organs. There's also a really important takeaway. Plan B, a medication that you use as emergency contraception, may not work as well in those who are over a certain number of pounds. So please be aware of that and speak to your doctor about that situation. I've seen people not know that and then make some bad decisions, or at least incorrect decisions about their health. I know undersleeping is bad for my health, but what about oversleeping? If I sleep too much, can it be harmful? Sometimes I sleep in late and somehow feel more tired. That's actually a classic thing, and I talked about it with Matthew Walker on my podcast, where if you're making up sleep debt, where you haven't slept for a certain number of nights in a row, the adequate numbers of sleep, and then you finally get a good night's sleep, that initial few minutes of waking up, you're gonna feel terrible because of sleep inertia, where you haven't yet kind of cleared that sleep debt, and you probably need to sleep a few more nights in order to start feeling better. I heard if you're having breakouts on your forehead, it's because of bad gut health. Is this true, and how can I improve my gut health? Okay, I'm gonna take the second part of the question first. You can improve your gut health by focusing on the things we talk about quite often in this channel. Eating fibrous foods, those are basically prebiotics. Eating a wide variety of plants, aka fruits and vegetables. Limiting the amount of simple sugars you consume, because those things can actually worsen gut health. Now, let's talk about acne on the forehead. Maybe if you're eating a really unhealthy diet, also having a really unhealthy lifestyle and not sleeping and all these things, yeah, you might get a breakout because of a hormonal issue, but changing just one little aspect is not gonna have a drastic outcome on your skin. You need to think about all the variables in your life and try and improve your lifestyle as opposed to finding a hack here. That's not the secret. What's the difference between a first, second, and third degree burn? Depth. First degree burns only affect the outer layer of the skin. Second degree burns affect outer and underlying layer of skin. And third degree burns affect the deep layers of the skin. See, I even had to look that up, even though the answer was outer and inner, or deep. But see, this is stuff in med school that you shouldn't spend hours memorizing, because what ends up happening is you learn a lot of useless information that you could look up real quick. And that's what the new generation of medical student and doctor should be. Someone that knows a lot, but knows things that they can forget, that they can look up real quick, because the ease of information is right there at our fingertips. So for example, guidelines change all the time when it comes to screenings. I try not to memorize those, because I know that at any moment I can look it up and get the most up-to-date info. Even if I know it cold, I still look it up, because I want to be sure that I'm giving you the best healthcare advice. I answered questions on the street. Well, not at the street, but in Central Park. They asked me tough ones too. And as always, stay happy and healthy.